We're halfway through 2026, so I figured now would be a good time to tell you what the best comics are right now to put on your pull. So if you're looking for stuff to add to your pull, or if you're just coming back to comics or something, you're like, what should I add? What's worth reading? That's what this video is for today. So it's only comics that I absolutely believe in that are worth putting on your pull, because there are other comics that I enjoy that I'm not putting on here because there's some that are like, I'm enjoying it right now, but I don't know if I trust it down the line, or things of that nature, or things that are like at the very end, like House of L, Superman book from Philip K. Johnson. I really enjoy that, but it's got one issue left, so there's no point in saying add that to your poll because there's one issue left. So let's get into it. We'll go Marvel, DC, and then independent. So basically anything independent of Marvel and DC. And we're starting with Marvel because I have one Marvel book, and that is Infernal Hulk from Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein. Nick Klein, I think, is the best artist working in the industry today. His work is incredible. Now, he's not on every single issue of this series because he puts a lot of detail into his stuff. He does his own hand-drawn onomatopoeia. It's incredible. His work is so good. And now Infernal Hulk only has a few more issues left, and then we're going to morph into the third sort of arc of this Hulk run, because we had Incredible Hulk, which went for like, I don't know, close to 30 issues, something like that. And then instead of continue going and just being like, hey, we're just going to name these as different story arcs like you do with every other comic series, Marvel's like, we could get a new number one out of this to make even more money. So they relaunched it as Infernal Hulk instead of just continuing the series as Incredible Hulk and calling the arc Infernal Hulk. But either way, don't let that scare you from this book. It's a great comic. Philip K. Johnson, one of the best in the industry right now. Nick Klein, I think, is the best right now. It's so good. This story's been telling you. Go back and read all the Incredible Hulk stuff because it's really worth it and it's really good. Infernal Hulk has amped everything up to the next level. Hulk currently has been sort of possessed, taken over by another entity, and that this entity is causing a lot of problems right now, messing people up. Messed up Iron Man, now messed up the X-Men. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm being very vague because it's a really good story and it's very in depth, and Philip K. Johnson puts a lot of lore and depth to his story, so there's a lot for you to chew on there. So that's why I'm trying to be very vague, because I want you to go and read this if you haven't. It's great and it's highly recommended. That's the only Marvel book. Now, Punisher's pretty good right now, but it's had some mid issues, and also it's Ben Percy, who is very strong out the gate and then falls off afterwards. So that's why I'm not putting Punisher on here, but I will mention it because I do enjoy Punisher right now. But it's like, I don't trust Ben Percy to continue to be like, oh, he had like a 50 issue Punisher run that was really good. It's like, this could fall off at any moment, but I will mention that I am enjoying Punisher right now. That's it for Marvel. Now on to DC. The first one is actually a Vertigo title, which is The Peril of the Brutal Dark and Ezra Kane Mystery. That is way too long of a title, but don't let that scare you off from reading this book. It's really good. It's from Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips, who is son of Sean Phillips, if you know from the Ed Brubaker stuff that those two do together, like Criminal. And he has a very cool art style, similar to his dad's, but a little different, and it looks very nice. I love the colors in this book also. But anyways, this is sort of like Indiana Jones mixed with the Thin Man. Like if you watch those Thin Man movies, it's a like a noir detective sort of book with Indiana Jones elements, heavily Indiana Jones elements, because it takes place during World War II. So you have these Nazis in the background and things like that going on, along with some sort of like supernatural type stuff like Indiana Jones, like I said. And so it's very interesting. A guy goes, this lady's husband goes missing, and it's connected to also this thing that's going on at this museum with this artifact. And Ezra Kane, our main character, finds out about this. He thinks like a group or something called the Brutal Dark, but he's not really sure what the Brutal Dark is, and he starts investigating. Things go crazy. It's very interesting. Like I said, it's a beautiful book. The art is great, and it's really good. It's the only Vertigo title that really piqued my interest, and I've been reading it. We're like 4 issues in right now, and it's been really good. This latest issue is the best one yet, and each issue has been great. And if you're looking for a detective story from Detective Comics, this is it. And Chris Condon, one of the best right now. I really love what Chris Condon's been doing. Now, on to the next one, JSA from Jeff Lemire and various artists, and all the artists I really enjoy. But Jeff Lemire, this one started out slow. The first arc was slow. It picked up partway through and it got pretty good. And then we got the year one arc, which I enjoyed. And now we're on to this Spectre arc, which is really good. So the Spectre is back, but the Spectre doesn't have a host. It's tried to take a host, but no one's really tied to it. And so the rest of the JSA is like, the Spectre's way too powerful for all of us. Because right now, they have Dr. Fate, but it's like a kid that's Dr. Fate. So he's not real too good at being Dr. Fate. And they're like, that kid's like, this Spectre's way too powerful for me. Everyone else, like, yeah, we can't do anything about this. So like, what do we do? We gotta find Jim Corrigan. So they're searching for Jim Corrigan. In this latest issue, they went to Madame Xanadu. They're like, where's Jim Corrigan? She's like, I don't know. And so they're just going. You have like the older JSA trying to hold off the Spectre because he's just going after everyone, like, you're a sinner, and like trying to just take out a lot of people. And so they're trying to contain the Spectre while the younger kids in the JSA go and search for Jim Corrigan. And it's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. So this year one arc was really good. This arc's been really good. And the first arc was a little slow, but overall, now we're like 2 arcs in a row where it's been good. I would definitely recommend JSA. And I really like Jeff Lemire, and it seems like he's really got a good hold on JSA right now. I'm really enjoying it. Next up is another Jeff Lemire book. Sadly, this is only limited. It was, I believe, 6 issues and then got extended to 9 issues. Maybe it'll get turned into an ongoing. Probably not. But it's Fury of the Firestorm, which I have really, really liked. I know nothing about Firestorm. I have not. The only thing I've read of Firestorm is when he shows up in other people's books. When he just like, oh, Firestorm appears in this like Superman comic or Justice League or whatever. When he shows up in something else, that's when I see Firestorm. I haven't really read anything of Firestorm outside of that. So this is my first solo title of Firestorm I'm reading, and it's really good. The artist for this book is Rafael de la Torre, which I think this is the first comic I've read of his. I don't think I've read anything else of his, but he's really good. He's great. He's doing 2 different art styles for this book because you have these sort of like flashback segments, and it's more retro style compared to the modern day bits, and they all look beautiful. I really love his art and what he's doing with Firestorm, and so far the story being told is really cool. It reminds me a little bit of Jeff Lemire's Sentry, if you ever read that years ago at Marvel. It's got some similar elements to that, because right now they're trying to figure out what's going on with Sentry because the military has surrounded, I just said Sentry, Firestorm. The military has surrounded Firestorm, but he's just like sitting on a bench. And so they get his ex-girlfriend. They're like, hey, can you talk to this guy? And they're like, what is going on? So it's kind of a mystery what's going on, and it's really good so far, and I would highly recommend it. Hopefully it gets turned into ongoing. This I feel like is the most this is the best Jeff Lemire book right now because he's writing 3 books for DC, which is Absolute Flash, JSA, and Fury of the Firestorm. Fury of the Firestorm is my favorite of those 3, and it's one of the best at DC right now. Next up is another DC Next Level, I think is what they're calling it, book, which is Deathstroke. And I am so surprised that this book is as good as it is because I'm a massive Deathstroke fan, but also I'm a Deathstroke purist. Essentially anything not written by Marv Wolfman is heresy to me. And so I have not enjoyed most Deathstroke comics outside of what Marv Wolfman has written. But what Tony Fleecs is doing with Deathstroke has been really cool so far. It's been action-packed. It's been really interesting. This 3rd issue was the best issue so far and probably the best issue of Deathstroke I've read in like 20 years. It's a lot of fun. It's action-packed. I already said that, but that's because this is the most action-packed comic, I think, on the shelves right now. If you're one of those people that's like, oh, there's too much talking in comics now. There's not enough fighting. There's not enough action. You should be reading Deathstroke because this is where the action is. There's not a whole lot of talking right here, but they make it work. It doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel like there's too much action. It doesn't feel like we're missing character or story. The action really, really lends itself to this book. And Carmine Digiomanico is great. I probably butchered his name. Some of these names are rough for me, dude. There's a lot of syllables in here, but he's doing really good. I remember him on that terrible Chip Zdarsky Batman origin book, but his art was great in that, and it's great in this. And I do enjoy his Deathstroke design as well. It's one of the better, newer Deathstroke designs. I will say they made the grave sin of doing a flashback and showing his old suit, and it clears the new suit so hard. It looks so much better. That being said, I still like the new suit, but the old suit, seeing Carmine draw it, it's like, oh, if he was just wearing that looks so much better. But anyways, Deathstroke, definitely recommend putting on your pull. It's a lot of fun. Next up, Emperor Aquaman from Jeremy Adams and John Timms. This book just keeps getting better and better. What are we, 17, 18 issues in to this series? And Jeremy Adams, I really liked his Flash. I liked his Green Lantern. I love his Aquaman. His Aquaman might be the best thing he's written at DC. It's It's a great book. He's Emperor Aquaman now because he's got control of the blue, sort of like how Swamp Thing is connected to the green and Animal Man is connected to the red. You have Aquaman who's connected to the blue, and so this makes him even more powerful than he's ever been. And now he's connected to the blue like throughout the universe. So he's going into the solar system, he's going into the stars, and he's going to other planets and helping them, trying to get them connected. Because then he can kind of set up stargates to where he can like travel these planets sort of with the blue, and it's really interesting. In the next issue, he's going to be teaming up with Hal Jordan because Hal Jordan's been in space on his own adventure and he just got captured. And I'm super excited for that. But Emperor Aquaman, not enough people are reading Aquaman. I hope this book doesn't get canceled because it's one that I look forward to the most each month. It's really worth reading. On to Superman from Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora, and also Eddie Barrows is the backup artist, which, that's a solid artist to have on backup. I really like this team we got here, and currently it's a Superboy Prime book, and I can't believe it's the best it's ever been. This is better than anything else Joshua Williamson has done on Superman. His Superman run started out rocky for me. There were some I liked, some I didn't. I didn't care for the Farman Graft and the original villains he was coming up with. I hated what he was doing with Lex. Thought that was really stupid, and Lex's mom and stuff. And then we got to the Dark Legion stuff, and I thought that was really good. And then we got Superboy Prime, which is what's currently going on, and it's been spectacular. I fully believe this is going to go down as like a classic Superman story. Like, this is going to go down as like one that people are going to point at on the shelves, like, oh, pick up that trade right there. That Superboy Prime story is amazing. That's what you need to be reading. And I would definitely agree with that. That's what I'm saying right here. Superboy Prime. This arc hasn't ended yet, but so far it's really good. And I can't believe I don't miss Clark. Clark's my favorite comic book character ever, but the Superboy Prime book's so good that I'm like, I'm not in any rush for Superman to come back right now because I really like what Williamson's doing with Prime. Now on to the comic that everyone is reading, Absolute Batman. Everyone's reading it for a good reason. It's really fun. It's a great book. I like the story that is being told here from Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta. We also have various All-Stars on backup, which is a great pivot they made because at first, when we had our first couple backup artists, it was not good. It was like, oh man, Nick Dragotta is one of the best. I really love his art style. It's really cool. It fits this universe perfectly. And then we got like these two backup artists on these two different issues, and it was like, oh, this is bad. And then after that, they just started getting all these all-stars. They're like, oh, we got Clayman, we got Jock. They're just going through them. It's like, okay, now when Dragotta's off for an issue, you're not like, oh, this book sucks now. Now it's like, oh, cool, I'm getting to see another great artist draw this Absolute Batman universe. And I like it a lot. So far, the Bane storyline has been my favorite arc so far, but I've been enjoying everything that's going on. What's going on with Scarecrow right now is gnarly, and I really like this Scarecrow, and I'm interested to see where we go from here. It's got a lot of hype behind it, but for good reason. I really like Absolute Batman. Now on to indies, and we have G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero. So if you know nothing about G.I. Joe, I'd recommend reading G.I. Joe from Joshua Williamson and Tom Riley, and also we got some other backup artists. But that book is top 5 book. Ever since it came out, it's been easily a top 5, probably top 3 book for me. Consistently, every issue, it just blows my socks off. Every issue, I can't believe how good it is. We've only really have like one like low issue. Every single issue, I'm like, this is it. The Joshua Williamson, this is what he was meant for. He's written a lot of great comics, but G.I. Joe really feels like his lane. He's got a great voice for these characters, and I love what's going on right now. And you don't have to be a G.I. Joe fan to enjoy it. This is one that I would definitely recommend if you're not familiar with G.I. Joe at all. Go and read this. They got some nice deluxe editions for these. You can pick them up and then get caught up and put this on your pull. G.I. Joe, the Energon Universe G.I. Joe, one of the best out there. Also, G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero is a lot of fun. Now, this is more for seasoned G.I. Joe fans. You can still pick it up if you're not. It's just you might be a little confused because there's a lot of characters. It's a big ensemble. There's a ton of characters, a lot going on. If you're not familiar with G.I. Joe, you might be very lost. But that being said, Larry Hama has found a second wind with Skybound ever since they relaunched with Skybound, or continued, I should say. It's been really good. I've really liked what's been going on here. He's got all these different factions. There's a lot of different threads being woven here, but also he's got an all-star cast of artists here. We got Chris Mooneyham. We got Andrew Conke. There's a lot of great artists on this book. Every time there's a new artist on here, it's like, oh, that's awesome seeing that guy draw G.I. Joe. And I really like what's going on there. So G.I. Joe is in a great spot in the comics right now. Moving on to the Ghost Machine books, all the Jeff Johns Ghost Machine books. We got Hyde Street, Geiger, Redcoat, and Rook Exodus. Unfortunately, none of these books really have actual deadlines they meet. The publishing schedules don't really exist. It's like, oh, you got one issue now, and then the next issue comes out 4 months later. Okay, the only one that was kind of consistent was Redcoat. You get it like every 1 to 2 months, and then even that went on like a 3 month delay from like issue 16 to 17. I think it goes January then April, and it's like even Redcoat hits delays. So all these, it's unfortunate, but they all are great. I love all of them. And as far as my favorite currently, it's like neck and neck between Hyde Street and Geiger because I really like what's going on at Geiger right now. It's found its second win because Geiger's been consistently really good, but it did hit a point where it like went from being absolutely incredible, like my favorite comic out, to just being really good. So it fell a little bit, and now it's back up to that absolutely incredible. And Hyde Street, what's going on with the Butcher of Hyde Street is really cool. So I won't go too far into each of these books because I've taken up a lot of time. It's gonna be a long video, but these are all worth reading. They're really cool. Geiger's post-apocalyptic Fallout New Vegas style sort of book. You got Hyde Street, which is a horror comic where all these different nefarious individuals are sort of in a sort of afterlife called Hyde Street, where it's a place like in between the real world and sort of like an afterlife where you can find yourself if you've done something bad. And they live there, and the residents there have to convert souls over to Hyde Street in order to get enough souls to leave Hyde Street. And the scorekeeper's the one that keeps the score of that and gets you out of there. And so there's a lot of drama going on there, and it's really good. And also, all the artists on here are the best in the industry. Like what Jeff Johns has able to bring to who Jeff Johns has been able to bring here is great. You got Gary Frank on Geiger, you got Jason Fabok on Rooks as this, who gets you one issue a year, sadly. But he's really good. You've got Ivan Rice on Hyde Street, you've got Brian Hitch on Redcoat, just the best of the best artists right now, and I really am enjoying these. Now Tomasi also has some Ghost Machine books. He's like the only other writer, other than they have some other lady that does some one shots, but he's doing Rockefellers, Hornsby and Halo. Haven't read Hornsby and Halo, so I don't know. I am enjoying Rockefellers, but it's hard to say. It's hard to recommend because I know a lot of other people that are reading it that aren't too keen on it. I like it. I feel like it's picked up, but I can't really put it in the strong recommend because I know several other people I talked to have kind of fallen off Rockefellers, but I personally enjoy it. So after the Ghost Machine stuff, we have Escape. Now this book is maybe my favorite out right now. It's up there. This is from Rick Remender and his I believe it's Giant Generator is his imprint, and Daniel Acuna on art. And this is a World War II story with anthropomorphic animals, and the reason he did that was because he felt like people would have more sympathy, more empathy for animals than if he did it with humans. So that's why he did it that way, because he's trying to tell an interesting story with where there's some gray with some of the axis, instead of just being like, if this was just straight up the Nazis, it's hard to do that because a lot of people just write it off and wouldn't really engage with it well. So that's why he did that, and it's paid off, and it's really interesting because like the Nazis are bats in this and the good guys are all different types of animals, like you have cats and bears, dogs, whatever. And I'm really enjoying it right now. The beginning where we just resumed because they did the first 6 issues and then ended it, and then took like a month or two break, and then we're back with issue 7, and it's really cool that we have this guy that's behind enemy lines trying to take out this anti-air gun to forward the Allies' cause. And it's really interesting, and it's Rick Remender, who's one of the best writers out there right now. I love what he's doing. He's also got a book coming out soon with Steve Epting, which obviously haven't read it yet because it's not out yet, but I will preemptively say you should probably put that on your pull list because Rick Remender, pretty much everything he does is gas. So I would say follow Rick Remender. But Escape, so good. Then we have Of the Earth from Chris Condon, Andrew Eyrick, and Charlie Adlard. This book just started with 1 issue, but the reason I'm recommending it is because it's Chris Condon, and I really like the first issue. And it's similar to Phantom Road. If you read that Jeff Lemire book, it reminds me of that a lot, but also different. It's its own thing. It's an interesting mystery right now. We're out in the desert. We got this lady with a lot going on in her head, and it seems to be a sort of horror mystery comic, and that's right up my alley. And it's Chris Condon, so that's why I'm saying you should be picking it up. I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about this, but it's only 1 issue in, and I'm recommending it regardless because it's Chris Condon, and I really like what he's doing, and he does solid work. So that's a writer I believe in, and the first issue was solid, so I'm just going to already say put it on your pull. Moving on to Ordained from Robert Venditti and Trevor Hairsine. This book is pretty cool. This is again Robert Venditti, who it's just everything he's doing with Bad Idea right now. For some reason, DC hasn't got him on a book, which is really stupid. They got all their next level stuff. I don't know why they didn't give Venditti a book, but I like what he's doing with Bad Idea. And Ordained is his newest title. You have this priest, and he's called to the hospital to do all the last stuff with this guy that's dying. This guy's a mob boss, so he goes there. Everything's sketchy. He's got guards outside the doors, and he talks to him. And this mob boss thinks he's about to die, and so he confesses everything he's ever done to this guy. He confesses all these like terrible things and like some very sensitive information. And the priest takes and is like, all right, cool, whatever, and then he leaves. And then we see like the next day the doctor comes like, oh, actually you're good, you're not gonna die, dude. And so then the mob boss is like, hey, I need you guys to go and kill that priest. So he tells his boy to go kill the priest. They go. The priest goes John Wick mode and takes out the goons. And now in the second issue, we learn some backstory about him, about what he was doing before he was a priest. And it's a badass book. It's pretty cool. A lot of people mention John Wick when they talk about this book because there are some similarities to it with the lore behind it right now and obviously the action. And I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. Only 2 issues in, but this is another one just like Of Earth. This is Robert Venditti, where it's like a writer I trust, where it's like 2 solid issues. It's a writer I trust. I can recommend putting on your pull. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And the final title that I will recommend to put on your pull is Battle Beast from Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley. They're back to the Invincible universe. We took a little break in between, I believe it was like issue 6 and issue 7. And we're back on the Battle Beast, and it's been super cool. It's been a bloody good time. Ryan Ottley is still incredible, the way he's able to draw all this gnarly action, this gore. And Robert Kirkman still got it with Battle Beast. I love seeing more Battle Beast. Obviously this takes place before when he dies in Invincible, so it's a prequel book, so nothing's going to happen to Battle Beast, but still really interesting. And you're seeing some Viltrumites come in, some interesting interactions there. But I've been really digging this book. I like it a lot. It's been cool, and it seems like they keep planning to do this as an ongoing, so I like that. And Battle Beast's been a ton of fun. So I wanted to make this video because I see a lot of people all the time talking about how like comics are bad here, comics blah 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 blah, and sometimes I contribute to that to myself. But I wanted to make this video to show there's a lot of good comics right now. You just gotta know what to read, and these titles are all worth reading. They're all great. They're all highly recommended from me that I think you should check out. And I think if you read them, you'd be like, oh, there are actually a lot of good comics right now. Because most of the time when I see people complain, it's a lot of people that are like thinking of comics like 5-10 years ago. It's like, actually right now there's a lot of good stuff. So thank you so much for watching. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Is there anything I missed? What would you recommend? What would you say is your must reads right now? Thank you so much for watching again, and I will see y'all later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.